Are you ready to become a leader and change maker by getting your PhD? Ready to stop stressing and actually take action so you create offer letters instead of rejections? Then this is the spot for you. I'm Dr. Natalie Morse, and I'm here to help you get into your dream PhD with full funding. Let's go. Hi, I'm Dr. Natalie Morse. Welcome to the podcast. This is all about how you can become a very safe investment that someone wants to pick and invest in for that really competitive PhD role. This role, they're investing hundreds and thousands of dollars in you, in your personal development. Little brain is going to be very valuable at the end. And not only are they investing a ton of money, they're investing their most precious resource, which is their time. That is the biggest asset to them because they are really busy. They are really doing high impact things, and they want to make sure that they're working with people who are also going to amplify that. Not someone who's going to need the hand holding and be brought along the whole way and not be an addition to the team. We want somebody who's going to grow everything that we're doing. So that is how I just want to frame this, why I'm talking about investments and why you are the investment. They are investing in you, their time, their money, their energy. They are very excited to do that because they see the return on investment. They see what you're going to bring to the university and to their program and to their team, and they're excited about that. So how do you become this person that they are excited to invest in? $400,000, tons and tons of hours and time and energy. How do you become that person? I'm going to talk about it from two angles because this is really how it works, right? There's the logical side, and then there's the emotional side. If you're anything like me, you might be super analytical, overthinker, overachiever. We tend to think that the whole cold hard facts are all that matters, right? I've got a 4.0, I've done 4 projects, blah, blah. And I'll talk about that. However, it's the emotional side that we make decisions on. And maybe we could do a whole podcast on decision making, but our brain makes decisions from an emotional place and then justifies it with logic and language. Those processes are happening in different parts of the brain. So by definition, we make a decision from emotion and then come over to the logical side to try to justify it. Hey, if I decide to move to Portugal, emotionally, I'm excited. Brand new place, it's warm, it's beautiful, I'm gonna have so much fun. But I'm not just gonna make that crazy decision, right, without some logic behind it. So I'm gonna say, oh, I have family there, or the cost of living is cheaper. It's gonna be a great investment for me in my future. See, I just justified what the heck I wanted to do with logic. So in a nutshell, when you think about your PhD applications and who you are and your profile and how you're marketing yourself, think about those two sides. Think about, am I investable? Am I really becoming a clear candidate that I'm a great investment for their time, money, and energy? Before I get into how to become more investable, I want to share some of the things, put you in the shoes of these faculty members, right? Just because they like you and want to invest in you, which is great. That's like half the battle. They still have to sell you to other committee members, department heads, and make sure that they're all on board with you. Unless they have a really independent grant where they have 100% approval, and that does happen for sure. But usually there is some committee at some point. So just because they love you emotionally or are excited to have you on their team, they need to logically justify why you're the best person. And so let's talk about that logic side first, because honestly, it's the smallest piece of the puzzle and the easiest for you to accomplish. So the logic side is that you're qualified. That's it, guys. You don't have to go crazy. You don't need 5 publications. Logically, you can see the tiers of school. At the higher level schools, you need to have a higher GPA, more projects, maybe a publication, not required, right? But your R1 schools, there's a lot of variability. I don't want to give you a hard number on a GPA or something because then you'll use that against yourself. But typically anything above a 3.0 is a very good place to be, right? Anything above a 3.5 is fantastic. So thinking about that, am I qualified? Do I have an academic background in my space? Have I done some research? That's the qualifications. If you don't have those things, it does not matter how well you connect with people and they're excited about you and they love you and they think you're fantastic. Maybe, I'm not going to say it can't ever happen, but the probability is low. So once you are qualified though, then those other things are within your control to raise the probability of your ability to get into top PhD programs, get that full funding offer, have people excited to have you on their team. All of that happens after you're qualified. Okay, that's the logic side. Boom, done. We do not need to freak out. We do not need to say, oh, my GPA was a 3.4 instead of a 3.5. I'm screwed. A, we can't go in the past and change that GPA. And B, move on. You can do other things. You can give yourself more experience. You can take a few grad level classes to show that you are really capable of doing this hard level work, right? All of that is doable and straightforward, as they say. A big reason why they're looking for previous research experience and experiences that show them that you're a good investment is because 30% of PhDs never finish. They decide to leave, they drop out, they get kicked out, many different reasons. That's a big freaking number. I just spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on you, hours and hours of my time, and then you leave and I really don't have anything to show for it. I don't have projects done, I don't have papers done, I don't have a future colleague that I can collaborate with. That's hard for me as that faculty member because that was years of my life. But that's really what you need to think about in terms of risk mitigation. Because investments, a lot of times people make investments with risk mitigation in mind. So if you don't see the downside or the potential problems, how can you market yourself and show yourself to be the antithesis of that? How can you show that you are absolutely a sound investment if you don't know the problems that they're trying to avoid? So when they're thinking about, hey, who's likely to drop out or whatever, again, there's no one size fits all to this and it will change, right? You could be an amazing candidate and 2 years later, things could have shifted in your life and leaving makes perfect sense. That's fine. No, we can't predict the future, but some signals that you could be giving that you are very committed, that you have tons of research experience or experiences in your field, that you're going to like the work, because that happens all the time. People like the work in theory, but then when they start doing it, they hate it and they leave. So when you can show that you've done things in a similar space or used similar methods or ideas, that shows them that, okay, the risk factor for this person is lower because I know they've already done some of these things right away. Same with your grades or anything else, right? Just again, showing them you've got a track record for completing things, doing things at a high level. That's what they're looking for in terms of risk mitigation. So familiarity with the work is really important to show that you're going to get in there and not hate it and leave. That's important. Commitment to this PhD is seeing it through, why you are going to get the benefit out of it. If you can't talk about the benefit you're going to get from this experience, they know when things get hard, you won't have an anchor point. You won't be thinking long-term about what you're going to gain. You'll just be seeing this immediate downturn. You'll be going, ugh, this is annoying. My project's failing, or I'm going to leave. Instead of thinking long-term of like why this is important to me and why I will troubleshoot, figure it out, and keep going to get to my goal. So again, describing why this experience is so important to you and valuable to you is a big benefit because they say, okay, this person gets it. They're going to see it through. The other thing that I think could signal potential flakiness or not wanting to see through a PhD is just basically having a life. And I'll give you an anecdote. So my advisor at Cornell always used to make this joke about me. Anytime we meet people, he'd be like, oh yeah, she told me she wasn't coming here. She told me she had all these reasons not to come here because her boyfriend didn't want to move here. This wasn't the right place because Ithaca's in the middle of nowhere. And I did tell him all of that. I would not suggest you do that. I was just being as open and transparent as I could. Again, would not suggest you be totally transparent and open all the time. But I'm just telling you what happened to me. And I was thinking about my partner. Hey, will this be a good location for him? He might need a job, etc. And it's a small town. What if he doesn't get a job? I don't want him to be unhappy. And I had those conversations. I think that should have given him pause. And it did, I'm sure. But whatever else I talked about, whatever else we connected on and how I talked about my past work and the work I wanted to do, gave him some indication that I was serious, that I was going to come in here and crush it. So he was like, hey, I'll give her the offer. If she decides not to take it, that's fine. That's his prerogative. I know. But I'm just saying for you, if you're in that situation where you have some doubts, you can talk through them maybe with other students. I would probably avoid talking through them with faculty directly unless you have a very direct relationship or connection, or like they ask you point blank certain things that you do want to discuss further. That's just my 2 cents. Of course, do whatever you need to do. Okay, so we talked about risk aversion, how faculty are risk adverse and how you can overcome that, or how you can signal that you are indeed a great candidate and someone that they want to invest in. And now the second part is all about the emotional side of why they would pick you over everybody else who's qualified, right? Because once you've gone over that bar of being qualified, why are they going to invest in you instead of those other people? That's the question that we're solving for. So in a nutshell, people invest in people that already believe in themselves, period. You are not going to get someone to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in you if you're like, I think it could work. No. Sorry, I'm trying not to make this explicit because I'll have to check that box on Spotify, but no, they're not. Think about it this way. If you had a house and you're like, I really want like a kitchen remodel or a new bathroom or something, and you have a couple contractors come in to give you a quote, right? Which is essentially what's happening in this PhD application. A couple contractors, AKA you, are coming in to say, hey,
This is my quote for what I think I'm going to do. This is what I see the future being and how I'm going to contribute and what I'm going to create, right? We're creating this invisible future that does not exist yet. Same with the contractor coming in to redo your kitchen. We don't know if it's going to turn out beautiful or not. We've got some ideas, but the more clear that he can articulate what he's going to do and why he's the best person to do that, and his experiences in that, I'm more trusting of him. I'm like, okay, him or her, I'm all like, yeah, you could totally do that. I could see that sink moving over here, and then the fridge is going to be on this side. It's going to work out great. But if somebody else comes in and they're like, I've never done this before, but I really think that fridge should move like 10 feet that way, and it's just going to be amazing. And I've not really done plumbing before, but I'm pretty sure that this sink is going to be fine. No, red flag. Excuse me, bye-bye. I'm not ever going to invest hundreds of thousands in you to make my kitchen look beautiful. And so I just want you to think about when you are talking to people or marketing yourself, what are you signaling? Are you signaling that you are a safe investment, or are you signaling that you are an unsafe investment? So a lot of that boils down to confidence. A lot of this boils down to how you talk about yourself, how you talk to other people, how you share your ideas, communicate, and market yourself. Yay, marketing. Who knew, right? And me as an engineer, who knew I'd be doing so much marketing, but here I am. So there are 4 steps that I'm going to take you through to become more confident. They are not a magic wand. Nothing that I do is a magic wand. You do have to take action and do things. At least I've never been able to just think my way into like magical spaces. I typically have to do things through action, and then my brain starts to get rewired, starts to understand, oh, I am capable. Oh, this will work. And there I go. So let's talk about the 4 steps and how you can become more confident, more magnetic, and create more people ready to invest in you. Number 1, learn the expectation. And I think throughout this process, it's very easy for people to feel like I should feel totally calm and confident. And if I don't, then I'm somehow not prepared or not going to do a good job or not going to excel in my PhD. That's not true. The expectation is you should feel nervous. You should be a little bumbly. You should get some things wrong. It's the expectation, okay? I want to set that stage right there so that way you're not setting yourself up for failure by trying to live up to some expectation that doesn't even exist. Number 2 is practice feeling uncomfortable. So you are going to feel uncomfortable through this whole process, talking about yourself, marketing, connecting with random strangers that you see on the internet that you want to work with. You're going to feel uncomfortable. That's okay. Practice that. You're going to get better at that. And the more that you do, your nervous system, your brain are going to equilibrate. They're going to say, okay, I'm not running from a tiger today. I'm just sitting here in my chair talking to another human. I can keep going. And then you're going to go on to the next thing and the next thing. That's how you're going to build momentum to become more confident, because your step number 3 is to create evidence for yourself. So you can know what to do, but until you start doing it, your brain has no evidence that you are going to be successful. So whatever that is for you, if it's, oh, I do really want to finish this project, to have it on my resume, to have something to talk about. Your brain is going to have a hard time talking about yourself as somebody who is a go-getter and gets things done when you have that project hanging out in your brain, which is undone, right? Your brain is not going to believe you when you are talking to other people. Your brain is going to want to say, I think Natalie will get that done. But until it's done, humans are very good at picking up people who are disingenuous or stretching or not really feeling something, right? We're so good at that. 90% of communication is nonverbal. So even if you're saying, I am a great person who gets things done, like a robot, hopefully you're not a robot, your brain isn't believing it. So whatever else is happening, the tone of your words or maybe your body language, it's not going to sell it. It's just not. So I want you to create that evidence for yourself by doing the things that make you uncomfortable or that you don't feel super confident in to become more confident. And step 4 is reflect and repeat. Yeah, maybe you got that project done and you're still not happy with it. Okay, what do you want to do better? What are you going to do better in the next project? Repeat the process. So here's an example with reaching out to faculty, because I know a lot of people get nervous to do this and to send these cold emails and things. So let's go through the 4 steps and how you can use this exercise to become more confident. So when you do make it to the interview phase, they're more excited to talk with you. And then you become magnetic, and then they give you offers. Okay, so let's talk about number 1, learn the expectation. If you're sending out cold emails, the expectation is you're not going to get a lot of responses. Be 30, 40% response rate would be great. That's what we work with our clients on. That's about where they're at. I've had a lot of people who come to us before. They're like, I've sent 50 emails and gotten 0 responses. That's how you know that you're below expectations. You know that you're not going to get 100%, but if you're doing something where you're like, oh no, this is like really not where we're supposed to be, then you can rethink your strategy and what you need to do to improve. But let's set the stage there. A lot of people are not going to respond to you. Cool, great. So then I practice feeling uncomfortable. I'm writing this email. I feel like I'm being chased by a tiger because that's my primitive brain going, this is unsafe. And I have to be like, okay, you're fine. You're sitting here at a desk, press the button, press send, you're good to go. Practice that. Literally, it sounds simple because it is simple, but people avoid the simple things, hoping there's some magic wand out there. There's not, guys. You just got to do the simple things again and again. Step 3 is create evidence for yourself. So after you hit send, the evidence, the feedback to your brain, the data that your brain is collecting is you are still here, safe in your chair, not being eaten by a tiger or a lion. And that creates the mechanisms in your brain that say, okay, you're doing it. You're not that bad at this. And then step 4 is reflect and repeat. So if you're sending 50 emails and getting 0 responses, reflect and make changes. If you're sending 50 and you're getting 25 responses, amazing. Good for you. Celebrate. And you get better, keep moving. I hope that was a good example of how you can become more confident. And whatever that is for you that you're working on through this process, use this whole experience to make you more confident. Because again, it's going to show up all throughout the process. When you're talking to people, when you're writing, when you're interviewing, that confidence is going to show up or it's not. It's going to be magnetic or it's not. And it's within your control to do these things, to get better at them. These are teachable skills. It's not like anybody is born with confidence, right? And if they are, hubris, right? But most of us, we develop it through doing harder things and getting better at things. So I want to just reiterate how to become investable. Number 1, you got to fix the logical side. You have to be qualified. Number 2, you have to fix the emotional side. You have to be somebody that they are excited to invest in, somebody that is confident so they can feel confident investing their time, money, energy into you to become the best PhD and the leader and the change maker that they know that you're capable of and you know you're capable of. Okay, if you want to do this work at a deeper level, this is what me and my team do every single day with our clients. You can book a call. We'll talk with you through all the options. Okay, go get it.